So if you're here, the chances are you've seen my thumbnail and you know this is going to be about the girl that we are being told is Lily. And I don't know about you, but I am sick and tired of the lies that are being put out. But this is something that has affected me actually personally. And when I saw the video, I don't go onto her account to watch because it gets circulated enough online. And when I saw this video go out of her exploiting the girl again, I watched it and I thought, there's something here that is just, yeah, it's just something's not right here. And so I'm going to explore this and I'm going to give you my thoughts as a professional and even personally. And well, let me know if you agree or even disagree. So if you don't know me by now, my name is Ems, I'm a qualified UK therapist, and I use the tips and tools that I've garnered over 30 years to give you some understanding on behaviour, body language, not just looking at what is being said, but also reading between the lines. And I bring that here to you. So if you like this style of channel that investigates, doesn't just go by what's being told in the mainstream media, but delves a little bit deeper, then this is the channel for you. So don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss future uploads, and like the video to help YouTube, well, think that I'm a channel worth keeping. That being said, go grab your drink of choice, whatever that is, sit back, relax as we get into some tea, truth with a touch of therapeutic psychology. So most of the time when Meghan puts things out on her Instagram, well, for the start, I do not follow her. I do not click on her Instagram because I refuse to. I feel it's hypocritical to do that when I'm against her, and I don't want to be enabling her to monetize these children. But of course, it gets circulated in the mainstream media and other people talk about it. And so I saw this recent video that she put out, of course, as a deflection, because we know that the Prince and Princess of Wales were also with the King and Queen, who were hosting the President and the First Lady of Nigeria. And so, of course, it made sense that Meghan does what she always does, and that's try to deflect and bring the attention back to her. And that's another reason why I don't tend to go onto her Instagram. But when I saw this circulating, and I am going to show the video, but I'm also going to do it in a way that hopefully I don't get a copyright strike. So I'm going to break it up, slow it down to show you some of the things that I noticed. But I just want to talk about how upsetting this is becoming for me. And I think a lot of us are going to agree with this. And it's interesting how her cult fanatics are so obsessed with making Meghan right, making Meghan the victim, that they will bypass the fact that she is literally exploiting this girl for money. Because when when they show her Instagram, it shows that whenever she shows the children, well, let's say the children, because it's really the girl that we see, then that she gets a lot more views. So if we see that, or her cult fanatics see that, then it stands to reason that she sees that. And if her Instagram is monetized, which I probably believe it is by now, then she is going to be getting money from exploiting these children. And anyone that goes on her Instagram is participating in that, in my opinion. And I get it, I really do. And I think sometimes people don't realize that by just simply going on and viewing her Instagram, that's what they're doing. I do not for the life of me understand why people who critique her follow her. This is something that I really struggle with when I see that people buy her products, that critique her and support her by following her. Because by doing all of that, we know that she buys followers. I've said this before and I've shown evidence of this. The 4 million that she's alluding to having, she hasn't got. Because if she was that popular, they would support her as ever. And if you look at her as ever, even though she's doing the same sort of thing, because she was stuck on about 600,000 subscribers, that's shot up to 800,000. And I haven't checked recently, but yeah, I'm probably going to imagine that at some point that's going to reach over 1 million. But if you've got 4 point something million, even if you took away, say, 1 million of people that don't like you, that are following you, the fact that then 3 million people are supposedly your fans, but they don't support your products, they don't support your business. That just very, very rarely happens. So she doesn't have the fan base that that she is believing that she's got. But what she does have is people are clicking on her stuff. And that is what she's doing with this girl. Now, most of you who follow me know my thoughts and opinions on these kids. I have said before, and I do not understand, and I'm possibly going to get people that are going to unfollow me now because I'm going to say this, but I don't understand the concept of people saying there are no kids at all. And please wait before you jump off and be like, you know, well, Emma's lost the plot. Let me just bear with me, because I have said from the beginning of me ever being on YouTube, and in fact, when I was on Twitter before YouTube, when that boy was allegedly born, when she was allegedly pregnant, I said straight away that she was not pregnant with that boy. And I straight away said that that boy is not hers. And I believe, as I've always done, that Harry is the father, which is why I'm potentially now believing why we're not seeing the boy, because I think she's been stopped. Because it's interesting that we were seeing like the back of his head, and then all of a sudden we're seeing nothing. She's alluding to him, which she's done in this video, and she's doing this a lot, and she's regurgitating some of the older footage that she's got to AI him or Photoshop him or whatever into a scenario. So that is what and I know that people want me to do a bit of a deeper dive on this, and I will do when they just stop doing things so I can keep up with everything. The girl, I have said, I don't believe that they had a little girl. I do not, but I think they were going to. I think they were going to have an adoption, and that adoption, I was told, I was sent things, that adoption didn't materialise because there was an issue with money and there was an issue with Meghan. So the woman went with another set of parents and Meghan lost this girl. Now, of course, I have to say allegedly because I can't categorically prove that, but it makes sense. While we never saw this girl young, we saw the weird photograph where they were allegedly at Frogmore Cottage, this one, and that was, I proved that was very heavily photo edited. They have never been over to the UK. The late Queen, even though there's been things that have been said about the late Queen meeting them, she's met, I've been told she's met the boy, because like I say, I believe the boy is real, but not Meghan's. And the girl, she never met the girl. And I got that from when I was talking with Angela Levin. She said that the girl has never been over to the UK. And we would have seen pictures of this girl. We would, you know, she never came for the Jubilee. We never saw her. But anyway, so I believe that this girl that we're seeing now, I know that some people believe that she's a child actress, and she could be. I'm not saying that she's not. But I believe that she's a late adoption. I think that she was adopted around 2024. And I think that's why Meghan chose to come on Instagram in January 2025, so she could control the narrative of what she did with these kids. Because the way I view this is why I think she's being hidden, is because if anyone sees her face, they can then start scrutinising her and seeing that she perhaps looks like somebody else. She doesn't look like the girl that we were shown in the beginning. And there's a lot more that can be done when you see the child, which is why she keeps alluding to her. The hair colour keeps changing. 1 minute it looks like she's wearing a wig. Then it's like 1 minute it's bright red. Then it's mousy brown. It's different lengths. She's different sizes. 1 minute she looks older than 4 years old. Then she's looking younger again. She's actually looking bigger than Archie in a lot of videos and photographs. But whichever way you want to see this, because, and this is why I don't go with the theory there are no children whatsoever, because when they were over here in the UK, that would mean that they decided to wake up one morning and go, let's pretend to have a kid. Let's just pretend. Let's pretend to be pregnant. Let's pretend to have a kid. Let's go to the family and say, oh, look, I want to pretend. There's never really going to be a kid, but I'm going to pretend anyway. That makes no sense. I can see the royal family getting behind Harry doing something that he shouldn't, and someone getting pregnant and them having to cover it up, and Meghan having to, and I know that some people said, well, Meghan would never stand for that. Well, she wouldn't stand for a surrogate either. Meghan's a narcissist, a malignant narcissist. She wouldn't have Harry being close to another woman carrying his child unless she had no choice. She would want all of the control, and she wouldn't be able to have that. But like I say, I can go into that a bit more detail if you want me to. So when you're seeing this girl who like I said, I believe is an adoption, and I've talked about the fact that I feel that she possibly adopted her in maybe Colombia or they went somewhere, I think, to adopt this girl. It's the fact that this is still a child. So whatever you want to believe, even if you believe that they have no children and it is your right to do so, or you want to believe that the girl is hers or whatever, this is still an innocent child. You know, the illusion of an innocent child, even if you want to believe this child's an actress or it's all AI and made up, it is still the illusion of exploiting a child. And this is what angers me, especially given the fact that the mainstream media are enabling this to happen. Now, what struck me, what actually affected me, was when I was watching this footage, and I will show this in a minute and show you what I'm talking about, but it was this particular image here as well, where the girl is hiding under a bench, the potting bench. And there are other things in this video that I picked up on as well, but this is something that that really struck me. Now, when you look at this on the face of it, and I've put this out on my X account and my Instagram account, which has gone over onto Facebook, the majority of people agree with me. But of course, you've got her cult fanatics who jump all over it and accuse you of being weird because you're, talking about this girl. But at the end of the day, Meghan put this on her social media. I haven't scoured this from Meghan's personal archives and stolen it and releasing it. This is now circulated. And the reason I'm showing this particular picture is because, well, the girl's face is covered because she's hiding her face. Now, some people have said, well, this is hide and seek. Well, there's no evidence of that. And it's interesting that when I perceive, or others perceive this to be wrong, when we see that she has put this up on her social media of a little girl hiding under a potting bench, hiding her face. And if you zoom in, even though you can't see it very clearly, it look quite sad to me. But then this could be me just guessing that. That's plausible because that's how I'm viewing that. That's what perception is. And it's interesting how some, not even her fans, have said, well, this just looks like a little girl hiding her face. But my point is, which is what I've tried to put across to people, is why? Why is her natural reaction at the age of 4 to hide her face when her mum, who is somebody that is, if you want to call a celebrity, when cameras are around a lot, why would her reaction be when she's watching her mum, because little girls generally follow what their mummy does, and they're seeing her mum being photographed, being all glamorous. Usually little girls try to emulate that. They try to mimic and mirror what their mum does. So you've got a little girl who is watching her mum be on camera a lot, and her reaction is to hide from the camera, to look away. Now, again, I understand that some people are going to possibly say, so because we're looking at all angles here, so some people are going to potentially say, well, maybe she's been told to, not show her face to camera because Meghan wants to keep her private. Okay, I get that. And I would understand that if this was out in public. I would understand that if maybe Meghan has said that when we're out in public and if you see a camera, then it's okay to hide your face and this is the reason why. But this isn't public. This is in the privacy of their, alleged garden where the little girl should feel safe. And okay, we're going to look at then the other argument is, okay, but Meghan knows that she's putting these pictures out on Instagram. So again, begs the question, why? Why would you put a picture? Why would you choose to put a picture out on Instagram of your little girl hiding under a bench? And I know that kids play hide and seek. That's not the point of this, but it's the fact that it's one picture of this little girl sitting under a bench, the potting bench, hiding her face, looking a little bit sad or miserable, or whether she's crying or whether she's annoyed or whatever it is. And, it's possible, some said that she looks like she's possibly been told off. Again, we don't know that. But either way, she's still looking unhappy. Why would you choose to put that? As a mother, and you're alluding to the fact that you're a loving mother, why would you put that up on your public Instagram, knowing that the mainstream media and other people are going to take that and they're going to share it everywhere? It's not like you've made your account private. I could understand people following her to a degree if she was private and she was locked down, but she's not. There is no need to follow her, because what do you gain from following her that you don't gain by not following her? Nothing. So you're following and supporting her even if you don't like her. That makes no sense. And then what you're doing then is you're taking footage from her Instagram and then putting it out, and she knows that. So she has taken a snapshot of this girl who's allegedly 4 years old, albeit I think she looks bigger than that. And you also know, unless you're and these are two people that are advocating to protect children from social media harm. They know that there are very unscrupulous people out there that take pictures of little children and we know. And so she's on one hand saying, well, let's protect children, but then hang on a minute, I'm also going to exploit my own child. And even though I'm not showing her face, I'm still putting her little body online where she's in a dress and she's showing a little bit of her arms and her hair and everything else. And you're also creating this mystery. And I know some of us kind of go, oh, I don't care if she posts the pictures, but it's not about that. It's about the fact that there are people out there that will, and people out there that would possibly think, well, hang on a minute, I want to know what she looks like. So I'm going to start, and I'm not going to say it because I don't want to put it out there, but you know what I mean. Meghan is not stupid. She might be many things, but she's not that. And she knows that's what she's doing. Now, of course, I know, and you and I know that we all believe that she's a narcissist. And so it does literally slot into that, because this girl looks unkempt. The girl, when we see her, it's Meghan is changing her outfits, looking glamorous. But you've got this little girl that's sitting under this potting bench and she's hiding her face. Now, yes, she could be hiding for the fact that she's playing hide and seek. But why, as a mother, alleged mother, okay, would you put that picture online, knowing that that is going to be there for the rest of that little girl's life? You know, if that is a moment when she's sulking under a bench, which kids do, if that is a moment where she's been told off and she's crying under that bench, or whether she's hiding, whatever it is, it's the fact that what it looks like. It's not about what it could potentially be, because we don't know. Yes, they could have been playing hide and seek and it would have been wonderful, but it's the fact in that moment, there are plenty of people, myself and others included, that are seeing a child that looks unhappy. Why would you put that on your public social media as a mother? That is what upsets me. That is what angers me, because at the end of the day, that little girl, like I said, she is used to seeing Meghan and a camera. She has grown up with cameras around, because Meghan can't help but never have a camera around, whether it's her own personal camera. She's apparently filmed Harry and Meghan dancing, albeit that I don't believe that was the girl. But anyway, she has been around cameras. So you usually think that she's comfortable with cameras. So one of two things: either she's being told to hide her face, even in the comfort and safety of, say, her own home, in which case that's abusive. Why are you telling a child to hide their face? Or she's got to a point where she's so used to being hidden that it's a natural, as soon as she sees a camera, she's hiding. And what kind of message does that send to a little girl? And as someone who is in this industry, as someone who has worked with adults who were young children, and even teenagers who have body issues, that think they're ugly, that just feel so down about themselves. When I'm looking at that, I just cannot help but feel this visceral outrage for the fact that I, who is when you have someone like Meghan and Harry, who Harry doesn't seem to be doing anything to stop this from happening, who protects kids when it's the parents that are the problem? And I know that firsthand, because when I have worked with young children, even when parents have brought children to me, and I don't do that now because all of my work is online now, and you really should not work with children online. It needs to be creative. It needs to be like with play. And one of the hardest things for me is when I'm working with somebody and I realize through play, through the things that they say, that the parents are the problem, that they're being hurt by the people, the very people that are supposed to protect them are the ones that are hurting them. And this is what we're seeing, in my opinion. We are seeing a woman exploit, and we knew this was going to happen, but I think it's one thing to know it, but then to see it play out, and then not just that, to see the mainstream media collude in it, and to some degree we're colluding in it. Now, the only reason, because I won't show, like when she's put pictures up before, I will cover the kid's face, because I get criticized for that. They're like, you know, why are you bothering to cover her face? Because it says more about me than it does anything else. It's like, just because she's exploiting the children, I don't want to. I'm not going to be colluding in that. But unfortunately, for me to talk about how horrendous this is, I need to show this picture, because without that, it is difficult to show that. And with the video as well, again, the child isn't being shown in the sense of the face, but it's to show, you know, I'm going to show it in a way that we need to see what's going on here, and someone needs to say something. Someone needs to advocate for these kids. And I even condemn the royal family a bit here as well, because even though they are clearly not there, I get that, but by not doing something, by not reining Meghan in, because this isn't about like what Catherine and William do, where they show the odd photograph here and there, or they're out for royal family events. That's very different. You know, if this was Meghan and Harry, you know, when we saw the kids, say when they were out and about, you know, doing things normally as a family, it's very different. But when you have purposely placed vases that just so happen to cover the child's face when the child walks into view, that's orchestrated, that's positioning. She has set this camera, she has positioned those things, and she has in some ways created when the children can come to her, and they make sure that they come around, not in front of, not running in front of the camera like normal kids might do. It's like you know, coming in around, making sure that you're quiet. And that's planned. And it's like, even if I can see that and others can see it, why can't the mainstream media? Who's protecting these kids? Who's protecting that girl? Because the boy, I actually feel that they've been stopped. I really do. This is why we don't see him. I feel that whoever, whether it's Harry because he's his father and he's not the girl's father, as in technically, or the real mother has stepped in and said, stop exploiting my child. So I think that she has been stopped. But if you notice, she has upped the ante on that little girl, and she is bringing her out more and more and more, because she knows that she gets views. She knows it gets circulated, and the mainstream media are just lapping it up. And that girl gets put everywhere, and not in a way that is adorable, not in a way that is, you know, like a professional photograph. It's orchestrated moments that Meghan does purposely to exploit her. Because like I say, this wasn't just a normal moment of Meghan potting flowers, because like I say, one, there's a camera set up. You know, it's not as if they're out doing a family thing and it's an obvious thing for the camera to be there. It's the fact that Meghan has set this up purposely, positioned everything purposely to put online, to use that girl to exploit her for money. And that really bothers me. It really, really, really bothers me. You know what? I actually didn't want to come on here and get upset, but it does. You know, I've said to you before that I will be honest in how I feel about things. And I know that people will be like, well, it's okay, it's a child actor, or it's like, it doesn't matter. It's still a child. It's still a child. It's, you know, and even if some people believe that it's AI, which I don't, in some of it I do, but not this. It's still the illusion of exploiting a child. It's still alluding to that, isn't it? And it's like, who's protecting her? Nobody. And yet you can't say anything because you get attacked. You get her cult fanatics trolling you, and because, you know, God forbid that they actually look at what she's doing and see what she's doing is wrong. Like I say, their obsession with making her right over everything and creating you to be the problem. It's, you know, some of the excuses that I've heard over that particular photograph is just wild to me. And it's like, how have we gone so far? And I think there should be a law. I've said this before. There should be a law to stop people exploiting children for money, because she doesn't get to say no. Well, maybe she does, and then, you know, that doesn't go down well. But when you see even influencers that use their children, we've had horrendous cases, who was friends with that vile woman that was apparently a therapist, typically, who thought that the children were demons and was starving them. And it's like, what is wrong with this world? How have we, let's say, how have we got so lost that this happens? And I might be completely wrong. I might be completely wrong. It happens. Not often, but no, it does. But my instincts tell me that I'm not. And I trust my instincts. And like I say, I think there should be a law. There should be a law to stop families exploiting their children for money. You know, I'm sorry that this has been a bit more of a down video, but it's hard to feel upbeat over something like this. And it's hard to ignore what they're doing. And, you know, and this is why channels, I cannot stress strongly enough why channels like mine and others who expose what they're doing matter. I mentioned this before, but I feel that it's getting to a point now where I really, really need to lean on you and ask you all for your advice. If you're people that have followed me from the beginning, most of you know what I have gone through and come out the other side of. And most of you know that I run this free therapy program where people from YouTube who've watched me, who struggle financially, have reached out to me, and I help them for free. I use the proceeds from my YouTube channel to do that. Now, since August last year, YouTube has changed the algorithm, and it's no longer supporting long form creators. It's leaning more into short AI content, which is obviously hurting. And I know other channels are experiencing this as well. So my channel is at risk of dying. And I'm already starting to see that subscribers are dropping off. And some of that is down to YouTube, because I'm getting people contacting me saying, I've been unsubscribed from you, or I've been taken off as a member, or I can't like your videos, or the hype isn't available, and that's because of what YouTube is doing. If my channel dies, and I think people need to hopefully understand, if they don't already, is that it's the watching, the viewing that creates the ad revenue. It's the subscribers are great, and having more subscribers will mean that I finally get to my 100k plaque, which I have really wanted to get to, and I fought really hard. And I kind of thought I was getting there, but all of a sudden now it's like I'm going the opposite direction. I know people are sick of Harry and Meghan. I understand that. But if you support me, if you like what I do, what I give, then if you're not subscribed, then please subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. It is literally just clicking a button. It doesn't do anything. You don't even have to turn the notifications on. But it does tell YouTube that I'm a channel worth keeping. Watching my videos, sharing my content, that helps me keep this channel afloat. That's all you need to do. That is all I'm asking of you. I'm not asking for your money. I'm not asking for anything else other than just a token of your time, just to make sure that you view my video, especially in the first 24 hours. I understand that some people have lives, and I get that, but it's the first 24 hours that matter. And when I see AI channels getting 100,000 views on videos on Harry and Meghan that just gossip and actually bring no evidence, that is harmful to content creators like myself, who are real people that put real time and real effort into their videos. You know, I work full time, and then I'm doing this in my spare time. Plus I'm running this free therapy program. I'm very tired, but I want to keep doing it because the truth matters to me. You matter to me. We've got this wonderful community here. I don't want to lose you. And, but I'm struggling. And I'm just asking you guys if you can help, please, because as much as I know that I'm just someone that sits on a screen to you, to some of you, I know some of you have got really used to my videos coming out and you look forward to my content, but I see a lot of you that are not subscribed. And it's just that little type of thing that helps content creators like myself. I just wanted to ask you to help me keep my free therapy program going, because it means not just so much to me, but also to the people that have come, because they've come through my channel. If I don't have this, I'm not saying that I may not be able to find people elsewhere, but there's a big fraction out there across the world that, I mean, I've worked with all walks of life from all countries, and I just don't want it to go. I know I'm one person, but you know, it's just, so I'm asking for your help, please, to help me keep this channel going. Go across and support Bite Size Tea, because I'm trying to get that one going, and I'm trying to do these channels and bring as much of this as I can to you. And so if you've got something from me, or just simply that you don't want to see me go, then please support my channel. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you like it, please like it, watch it till the end. Even if you put me on mute in the background, I don't care. Just, you know, just help me get my views up, because the first 24 hours matter, even the first 48 hours. And yeah, share my content. Just, yeah, help me to help others, because it's needed. It's a very flawed system. There are a lot of people that slip through the cracks, and as much as I can't help everyone, helping someone, is what matters. So yeah, thank you for your time, and now I'm going to get into the next part of the video. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Are you having fun, my love? Yes, I think you can. Let's go. Let's go.
It's the fact that the media play into this belief that this was just a natural setup. One, she's filming. Two, she's got strategically placed flowers in vases that as the little girl comes into view, which you will see in a minute, she's completely hidden, which tells us this was set up purposefully. Then the little girl, you don't even hear her, And then Meghan's whispering back to her because clearly the little girl is whispering. Why is she not just talking normally like a little girl? Why was this all set up? Because Meghan knows, in my opinion, that the girl equals views equals money. Watch here as the girl comes into view. Meghan goes to look at her here, again, hidden. But usually when you have a kid that comes over in your vicinity, you look up before they even get close to you. She doesn't. So she knows that this is purposely in frame and that was how she wanted it. So she didn't look up as the girl was coming out of wherever. She looks up the minute she comes into frame. And again, that tells us purposely set up for the camera. This is the one that upset me the most, as you know by now, because it's this. Why would you put this on your public social media knowing it's going out to the world? The little girl hiding, covering her face. Why has she got her back to the camera, hiding her face? Now, I know that there could be numerous reasons why this is happening, but it's the fact that Meghan chose to put this on her public profile, knowing this was going to be circulated to the world. This just looks creepy to me. And again, it's just set up. I know some people are critiquing the way her arm is, but I do think that that is how her hand has been positioned, if you look closely. But it's the way this has been set up to look. It's creepy and it's purposeful. And here we have again. How anyone can deny that she is purposely merching this girl is beyond me, because the whole thing with the camera sitting back, everything just perfectly aligned to cover the girl's face, purposely set up. This is not a cute family moment just randomly caught on camera. And then we have this.
Archie.
Because she has to mention the boy because she knows it's been circulated that the boy never gets a look in. I think she's been banned from using him.
I think at the moment, I see a lot of my wife in Archie. I think at the moment, I see a lot of my wife in Archie.
Now imagine if you have a child and your husband says that they see you in their child. That would be a proud moment, but she completely eye blocks and looks down. She is not happy with what he has just said.
I see a lot of my mum in Lily. She's very Spencer-like. She's got the same blue eyes, sort of like a golden reddish hair.
Again, this is not the body language of somebody who is just being told they look like the boy who's supposedly their firstborn, and also that the Diana, the mother-in-law, looks like their little girl. You'd be proud, but she bites her lip, licks her lips. She looks unhappy. Now look at the way Harry is behaving. When he's talking about his little girl looking like his mother, he looks down. He looks across at Meghan as if almost like a validation, and her body language is off. And he's looking down as he talks about it, which is unusual, given that this, again, should be something that you're proud of. He looks, yeah, look at his face. Tell me that this is a man who is proud that apparently his alleged daughter looks like his mother. Now we're going to see a picture here of this alleged girl. Where's that red hair gone? Because it's certainly not red here. Where's it gone? All right, it's black and white. But suddenly we see this girl when she's about this sort of size. And that's why I believe that she's a recent adoption and all the pictures prior to this were fake. This is not red hair. None of it is. In my opinion, they are absolutely 100% lying.
So please give it a like. Please give it a hype if you have one available. And follow me on all the other platforms that I'm on if you want extra bits, because I do a lot of ranting over on X and Instagram. If you haven't followed me on Facebook, go across there as well if you're on Facebook. If you want to treat me to a coffee, you have my Amazon wish list. You can become a member, super chat. All of those things are extra, but they're also optional. And as I always say, look after yourself first and foremost. But in the meantime, I'll see you next week. And thank you again. And as always, I love you. I appreciate you. But most of all, I respect you. Take care. Bye-bye.